Ian, you're the representative of the Port Shepstone Squash Club. Tell us, what is the state of squash on the Hibiscus Coast at the moment?
Squash generally has taken a bit of a downturn, and I think what is happening is that squash is now competing with mountain biking, with canoeing, with a lot of other sports that 15 years ago just were not part of society. And a lot of the young people that were playing squash, young men, women, any age, in fact, I still remember playing here against a 72-year-old. We just tend to not see those people on the courts anymore. They've got other activities that they're taking part in.
Yeah, but why would that be? I mean, surely the other activities cost more money. Squash is relatively, when you look at it, it's relatively cheap to play and you know, as a sport.
I think also you have to look at what is popular. Squash has been around forever, and it's quite funky now to go do bicycle riding, and guys really enjoy it. Squash too, people tend to think you can injure your legs and you can damage yourself playing squash. Frankly, I think I'd be far more damaged falling off a bicycle than falling on a squash court. But anyway, I love squash, so I'm very biased towards it. The tournaments that we're running on the coast are the summer tournament, where each club tends to have its own internal tournament. Then we have the winter tournament that's sponsored Halfway Toyota. And we have the league, which takes place straight after that tournament. There are, I would imagine, around 100 active squash players on the coast at the moment. Sheppey,
When you say the coast, from where to where?
from Port Edward all the way to Heberdean. Unfortunately, Heberdean is really taking a lot of strain. Their membership has dropped off substantially, and they are battling to keep their club going. It would be great to see people joining Heberdean just to be able to get their membership up. Where in the past we used to have anything up to 15 to 20 teams competing in the Halfway Toyota competition, we're lucky now in total we can muster about 10 to 12 teams together. So that the membership across the coast has dropped substantially. We are looking at hosting a doubles tournament in December, the beginning of December, just as a fun tournament to try and introduce the idea of squash back again into our area anyway. With regard to our subs, we've reduced our subs to nearly half of what they were. And certain levies that were being paid, we've managed to get those levies waived. And squash is a cheap game to play now. To spend 45 minutes on the court, it's 10 minutes. And in 45 minutes, you can really put in a lot of exercise. The subscriptions at Sheppey Club are very much in line now with Douglas Mitchell. It's about 400 Rand a year for your subscriptions. It really becomes a very affordable sport for just about anyone to play. And we really do encourage people to come and play, and especially youngsters. We have a fee now of 90 Rand a year for youngsters to join Sheppey Club. There are some coaches that are using Sheppey as a base. Some of them moved away. We're hoping to attract them back again into Sheppey. But squash generally is a healthy sport. It's a cheap sport, and it's one that anyone can take part in. No matter what your shape is, even if you're really out of shape, you don't have to push yourself and hurt yourself when you start playing. And it's like riding a bicycle. Once you've ridden a bicycle, you can ride it. If you can hold a racket, you can play squash.
Look, you don't need to convince me. In my younger days, for 20 years, I played squash like crazy. You know, when we used to travel on an aircraft, I took my overnight bag and my squash racket. But now, you mentioned squash in our area. Is this the decline in interest? Is it indicative of the rest of the country as well, or only down here?
Difficult for me to say. I haven't taken part in what's happening in squash in Durban. On Sunday, I played in a tournament, a doubles fun tournament in Durban, and it was full. When I chat to the guys at Rovers, they have a very active squash club. So I can't say that squash is actually a difficult sport or a dying sport. I think there's just a lot of competition for the same people. And as guys tend to get older, they move away from squash and move into other activities.
Are you guys affiliated to any national organization or association or provincial, etc.?
We're part of KZN Squash, and we're also part of the South African Squash Association. We pay an annual levy depending on the number of users. I have just applied now to have our levy reduced because of the fewer numbers of squash players that we have, or the lesser numbers that we do have. By next year, April, I'm hoping to get our numbers back up again. It's going to cost us more, but I'd rather have more people playing squash and taking part in the weekly activities. On a Monday night, we have a club night where anyone can come and play. We really do encourage people to come on Mondays. You play against anyone. It's very often what happens, you'll play against the same people all the time. You come with your friends, you learn what their game is like, and you don't actually learn much more about squash. When you're playing against other people, there's always going to be someone that's better than you. And that's the time when your game is going to actually start improving.
In conclusion, people who are watching this video who would like to play squash or who would be interested in squash, what should they do down here? What is step number one?
Step number one, get hold of, if you're living in the Port Shepstone area, phone the country club. Veronica or Carrie, Veronica will always take your call. Book a court and come play. You can come play as a guest. Come see how you like it, see how you enjoy it, and if you do like it, join the club. And become part of the squash environment. Just enjoy the game itself.
Coaching? You good coaching?
There are some people that offer coaching. I know Carl has been helping some of the people, some of the youngsters. Whether he does professional coaching or not, I'm not sure. But if the need is there, someone will step up to the plate and offer it. But if the need is not there, well, then someone has to try and get the initiation going, get the interest going, and that is what I'm trying to do again, is get the interest going in our squash.
Best of luck, Ian. We hope you grow and grow.
Thanks very much, and come and play, everyone. It's a great game.